Hi my loves, how's it going? How you guys doing? Welcome if you're new, welcome back if you've seen me before. It's time for me to start a new project plan. And I previously said I wouldn't do it, but you know what? I just couldn't help it. I could not help myself. I had to do it. And now I've decided to start the 50 Shades of Blue project plan. I genuinely thought that I would have a much harder time with finding products that were non-makeup related, and that's why it's going to be really hard. I mean, even now it's still going to be slightly majority makeup related stuff, but I think it could be kind of fun to see the progress that I can potentially make and how that might possibly go. If you guys enjoy planning content, please make sure you subscribe to me, like my video, and check me out on my other social medias. I tend to post other makeup related content over there too, especially over on TikTok. Everything is at dailywithdils. But let's just jump right into the intro. I've kind of tried to divide this by perfumes, nail polish, and body care stuff, and then makeup will be sort of right at the end. And I'll start off by the one and only perfume that I brought in with this project, well, into this project plan. So this is the Davidoff Cool Water perfume. It's not the original one, it's like a side set that they had because that ship sort of makes it a little bit different, but it doesn't really give the name of what the other one is. But this one, compared to the original, like Cool Water smell, oh my god, it's so good. I tried to find a replacement for this and I can't find it. But unfortunately, this product is actually very, very old, and I really want to use up as many of my perfumes as I can that are pre 2024, especially because I still have quite a few of those. But I've only decided to bring one in. I mean, I could have brought in like at least 3 to 4 others, but because I already have my perfume project plan over on TikTok, I didn't want to overwhelm myself with the perfumes to try and use up. So I brought this in. It is about here. I've marked it so today, literally just now, so that going forward, like I'll know exactly where I am and we can sort of like mark the progress. I don't know how I'm necessarily going to use this, if I'm going to like focus in on this scent and just use it as and when I really want to, so sort of like elongate the product so I can have it for as long as possible. I guess sticking to the scent sort of category, I am bringing in 2 roll-on deodorants. I was really struggling. Okay, one's a roll-on, the other one's like a spray. I was really struggling with products to bring in, and I didn't want to have too many makeup products because that in itself can be very, very tricky to like deal with and manage with. So I found these two, both have blue in the packaging. I literally just found both of these. This one, mom, she initially bought and she never used it, and then she gave it to me because she says she doesn't think she's going to use it. This one I already have because the current roll on I'm using is kind of like over half a use, and I know I'm going to be needing a replacement sooner, so I decided to just roll this in. Um, but yeah, these two are just having them because I feel like they'll be somewhat easier products to use. I have one of each of these already, so these are not going to be touched until those products are used up. So at least that way, things are still like moving out of my inventory. Next, I decided to pull in 2 body products. So this one is a shower gel. So this is the Bioma Hydrating Body Wash. Sorry, I got this as part of my Cult Beauty Advent Calendar last year. But the thing is, I was again like really struggling, so I picked this out, and the goal is going to be to use these. The other one is actually a body cream. I currently have one tub that I'm using, and I'm almost done with it. I think maybe like another week or so, and that should be finished. But I'm gonna be jumping on with this one. I think this is a good couple of years old. I think this is either 2024 or 2023, and this is the Peter Thomas Roth's hydrating body cream. I saw some funny things about this person, and I definitely won't be buying anything out of pocket from the brand, and I never really have. I just tend to get stuff from either like advent calendars or like edited boxes from various like online retailers, but I personally wouldn't. And this is a small body cream situation. I don't really think it's going to take me that long to use, and it's been sitting in my drawer for quite some time, so it'd be really nice to have this as an empty as well. Next up, you might be thinking, honey, are you okay? To that question, my answer would be not particularly. I rolled in 5 moisturizers, and I mean specifically like face moisturizers into this project pan because again, I was really struggling with my skincare. I mean, the only way I've even got all of these products is because I did a giant haul from Yes Styles towards like Black Friday, and I kind of regret it because it's a lot of stuff, but at the same time, it's kind of come in handy with this project pad because at least I can roll in quite a few things. So one of the non-Yes Style orders was this Toucher Indigo Overnight Repair moisturizer. I've actually already been using this, but I really wanted to bring in as much products as I could into this project pan, so I brought this in, and I actually already really do enjoy this. Hopefully you can sort of see how much is in there. There's really not much, but a little goes a long way, and I really do like this so far. Touch is very expensive, so I bought like the mini little trio sets to try, and this is just one of the 3 that came in that box, but this is the only like blue one, so I decided to just roll this in and get this used. This is the one I'm currently using at night time. really liking it, and I thought I might as well just bring it in because it kind of makes sense to have it in this project pan. Along with that, I do have four others. So this is from my Cult Beauty Advent Calendar. This is the Paula's Choice Barrier Repair Advanced Moisturizer. I feel like sometimes I do actually need a product like this. Like last night, I used a overnight sleeping mask, but unfortunately, it's really irritated like this part of my skin here, and I feel like it's really destroy the skin barrier around there. So I think I would have to pop this open and start using this. But this is one of the two, I think, skin barrier type of products that I have in here. I haven't really used much from Paula's Choice. I haven't really gone out personally to buy anything from the brand in a very long time either. So the only thing I remember was the BHA like toner that they had. So it would be kind of nice to try this and see how it is. I also haven't really heard much about this product. I mean, I don't really specifically watch skincare like reviews, but like the few people that I haven't really seen them talk about this product. So I have no idea. So it'll be kind of nice to use it and see how I find it. Another one is a Perito Sol Hydro Wave Deep Sea Cream. And I feel like this might be something that I use at night time, or if during the day my skin feels like it's really sort of dry, is when I probably like grab this and use it during the day. I have no idea how I'm actually gonna like what I'm gonna pull in first to use. I kind of just I think I'll leave it as how I feel and go based off mood. But this one, I really wanted to try Purita for a long time, and then so I snagged this. It's one of the few that I picked up from the brand, but this is the only one that was blue. The other ones had different packaging, which is kind of sad because I wish I could have brought more skincare in. It's fine. I'm actually really looking forward to using this, and for me personally, I feel like my skin really does heal when I use Korean skincare, or at least like Korean or Japanese skincare. So I do tend to try and keep most of those skincare like brands within my like routines because I know that's what usually works the best for me. So I would be actually really excited to try this and see how this goes for my skin. These two moisturizers I have actually used up in the past and I loved both of them, so I decided to pick these up again last year. I picked up two of each, and I was considering should I just roll all four of these in, but then I was like that might be kind of silly. Like I do still want a room to like use other products as well. So I pulled in the Dear Claire's Rich Moisture Cream. Freaking love this! It's so good. My skin ate this up, and honestly, if you have dry skin, I think you'll really like this. I typically only use a heavy moisturizer at night time unless it's the winter and I feel like my skin is like really suffering, then I will grab something like this during the day too. The other one is this one. I think the brand, I don't know if it's Etude or a Sunjung, and this is the 2 times barrier intensive cream. And this one I've used in the past as well, and I've actually really liked this too. So it'd be nice to have this back into my routine, and I feel like I kind of currently need a barrier cream anyway. So this one or the Paula's Choice one will be the first to open and just kind of use it as a one I need. But I've used these both in past, loved them, and I thought it just kind of made sense for me to bring them into this project pan. Obviously, having 5 moisturizers is probably a lot, but I do go through moisturizers quite quickly, so I'm not really doubting that I will be able to use them up. I have one face oil, and this is the one from Gostines Beda, and this is it just says the face oil. I have used something like this in the past from the brand, and I really like this, but I have had a hard time with picking up a face oil to use. I used to do slugging a lot, and I kind of didn't do it because it made my pillow really messy, and I didn't really like having to like change my pillow every day. It was just really frustrating. Also, I don't have that many pillows to like pillow covers to like change the stuff into. So I don't know how this is gonna go. I also with the weather sort of slightly getting a bit warmer, I don't really think I'm gonna necessarily gravitate towards this as fast or as soon as I think that I would. I probably won't touch this until like I want to say maybe potentially like winter when it comes around again. I'm pulling in two sort of serum types of products. So this is the Bioma Photomucin Glow Serum. This was the only like sort of blue serum that I hadn't actually opened, so I decided to pull this in. And I currently am using another one of Bioma's products, but I think that one I'm almost out with it. So otherwise, I would have rolled it into this project. Because I think I'm more than halfway done with that, I'm just gonna leave that as it is, use it up, and then jump onto this one. So I use one serum during the day, and then sometimes I'll use one serum at night time, but so if I'm liking the products I've used from Biomas, I'm decided to roll this in. The other one is the Crave Beauty Oilala Serum. And because I had the flash on, my eyes are like really struggling to read this, but I think this says it's got, okay, I can't really see it. It says it's some kind of a treatmenty type of serum. I have kind of used this a couple times, but I hate the smell of it. And I know that sometimes if something like that puts me off, I'm not gonna use up the product. But since I've already cracked it open and I do feel like it kind of does help a little bit with my acne pigmentation, I really want to use it up and have it done because it kind of just makes sense to do that. So that'll be the goal. Even though I have used this, I really just want to pull it into the project pan so at least I can finish the product rather than just leaving it collecting dust. I have two toners that I'm going to be using. One of them is this, which is from APLB, and it's the glutathione niacinamide facial toner. I'm pretty sure I said that name wrong, so excuse me for that. But I have this toner, and it's green and blue, so it's kind of hard to see. I mean, different people see it differently, but for me, it kind of gives off like a bluey sort of green vibe. And I'm gonna just pull this into project for that particular reason. I currently have a toner that's already open, so I'm not going to touch this until that one is at least finished. But I'm looking forward to trying this. I've heard some really positive reviews about this brand from the people that have like somewhat used the products within like any videos that I've seen. So it'll be kind of nice to also use this up as well and see how it works for my skin. The other one is this giant Vital Baby Hygiene Acquaint Cleansing Water. So one of the like big TikTokers account, I think it's one of the two twin sisters that I saw. I think they're twins as well, or triplets. I can't remember, but I think they're at least twins. I think there's Dr. D and Dr. Ree. Again, I could be so wrong, but it's or is it Dr. Adele? I don't know their names, but I really like watching their content, and I feel like they have a lot of like really interesting products that they kind of share. And the reason I got this is because they said this is a good product to sort of like do skincare with once you've like, if you've done like a workout and then you've sort of need to just like, I guess you need something to sort of help out like with the sweat and the acne and stuff like that. This is a good product to use. But I feel like whenever I've used this, like I always use this as after like I've cleansed my face. I'll always spray this on. It kind of does help my acne anyway. So I don't know if that's just me in my mind thinking that, but I just like using this product as a good like in between step before my toner, my actual other toner that I'm using, and then after cleansing. And it just works really well. It's a nice way of like hydrating my skin again. I have this little bottle, but this is just one product because I decanted some of this in here. So the goal is going to be to use this up. I think I have probably about like all of that left. So this will take me a long time. Also, this is I think a 500, maybe it's more than that. I don't really know. And I can't see, yeah, it's got 500 mils in it. And this little like thing has 50 mil in it. So it will take me a lot of like refills to have this done. But because it's already decanted from here, I'm going to be counted as just as one product to use, and I think I can definitely get this used up. And I do think as well there's going to be another product I'll buy once it's done, but it was just like a nice way to buy like a big bottle rather than keep buying these small ones because I feel like that was just a bit more of a waste. But yeah, that's kind of all of that so far. One last skincare product is going to be the Starface case full of various sheets of acne, basically just star shaped acne pimple patches. Now, most of these are blue, but there are some green ones in here, and I think there's like one pink one in here. So, what I'm going to do is I counted them, there are 10 sheets in here altogether, and each sheet has at least 4 stars. Actually, let me double check. One, two, three. So, I have 4 green ones, one pink one, that's 5, and then I have one, two, three. I have 5 blue ones. So because they're already in here, and I kind of am slightly worried about my star stickers getting a bit old and not being able to work as proper pimple patches, I'm just going to bring this entire case into this project pan, and I will try and save the sheets if I can remember. But knowing me, that's a big question mark. So at this current stage, I have 10 sheets of stickers, 5 blue, 1 pink, and 4 green ones. And the goal is just going to be to focus in on all the pimple patches that are in here and use them up. The only time I really use a pimple patch is when I get the sort of whitehead acne breakouts, and that's when I feel like I really need one of these because then I'm more likely to like pick my skin and pop them. And I'm really trying to break out the habit because I've got enough acne scarring and acne pigmentation anyway. So why am I trying to make it worse for myself? So I've pulled in this entire thing, but I'm just counting it as one product because these are like one use items, and it kind of just makes sense to have that in here, but to just solely focus in on this and have it done. I do have 2 other like cases of these. I did actually start collecting them, but then I was like, okay, did I stop? Like that's too much. Next lot of products I have is literally all nail polishes, and I've brought in 7, which is a lot. And generally speaking, I was really struggling with what other things to bring in, and I had no other skincare or hair care that I could have rolled into this project pan. And I remembered I have plenty of blue colored nail polishes, and it makes sense for me to try and roll these in. Now, I highly doubt that I'm going to hit my usage on all of these, or I might hit some of the goals, but I wouldn't maybe hit all of them. Some might roll out, some won't, some might only have one use, some might be forgotten. Because having 7 nail polishes in for the fact that they're all blue is going to be a lot for me to like try and use, but I'll just kind of go and see what happens. Another thing is I haven't really painted my nails in a long time. Like several years ago, I was constantly like going through nail polishes because I was actually using them a lot, and I used to paint my nails a lot back then, but I haven't really done that in a very long time. So I'm gonna kind of like try and bring that part back into this because I do like painting my nails, and I think some of these are kind of nice shades. So I have two from Lottie London. This is the Girl Buyer and this is the Secure the Bag. This one I'm going to try and do 10 uses with, and this I'm going to do 5 uses with. But these two layered together look really nice, so that's most likely how I'm going to get all the uses on this and half of them on this. And then the other nail polish I'm going to use with this is this one from Essie, and this is the Salt Water Happy Polish. Again, 5 uses, and then hopefully I get the other 5 from here with this. And that should hopefully mean I get both of these used up. But again, it's one of those situations. We will see what happens because knowing me, I might not end up painting my nails for the next like 7 months. And then I remember, oh, I was supposed to have all of these like rotated through and used. So I guess we will see. And currently haven't painted my nails, so I think that'd be kind of nice to always have my nails blue before I do an update for this. Hopefully I do that. If I don't, please keep me accountable and shout at me if you have to, okay? And then I have this one from WhatsApp Beauty. So the actual shade isn't blue, but it's got blue sparkles in here. And I thought this would be a nicer way for me to try and bring in another nail polish to use that I can kind of get away with using on like multiple seasons. Like definitely in the autumn time, I probably will gravitate towards this a lot. But because it's got the blue specks, I rolled it in for that reason, which I don't know if it will kind of show up in like video, but that's the plan. And then I have 3 nail polishes I got from Cleaner Cosmetics. I bought a collection that they released with Bow to the Brow, and I'm running all 3 of these in because they all have either blue specks or like blue like shifty tone in it, and that's enough reason for me to try and use these. And again, all of these are 5 uses, so is the WhatsApp Beauty one, which between all of that and how many weeks we have in the year, I don't really see how this is going to work. I really don't see how this is going to work, but regardless, I'm going to try anyway and see just what happens, because I might end up like using like these 2 together, or maybe like putting these 2 together and just seeing what happens and just really taking it from there. But I really do want to get some more use out of my nail polishes, and then also kind of figure out what I want to keep and what I want to keep amongst some of these products as well. So that's all of that. Okay, so now the next lot of stuff is all just makeup related, and with this category, either I've got a usage goal or a goal of using up the product, and most of these are going to be usage goals. And to be fair, part of me is already regretting this because it's going to be a lot of products to try and use, but at the same time, I'm trying to remember that it's just for funds, and it's fine if I don't reach my goal on all these products as long as I get some use out of these. And I think some of these are in here, some of these products that pulled in here would be good because I wouldn't normally gravitate towards them, and this would be a nice way for me to decide whether I'm going to keep the product or not as well by the end of it. So it's a nice way to kind of put all of these products on the chopping block as well, obviously indirectly, and not everything would be on the chopping block. But yeah, let's just get into this section of the update. I have decided to pull in 3 palettes. One of them is the Anastasia Cosmos palette, and I'm very nervous to sort of show you guys, but that's what this looks like. And the reason I'm nervous to show you guys is because this blue shade keeps cracking, and it just, even though I keep trying to press it in, it keeps like smashing in. It's kind of making the rest of the palette like messy. So the goal for this palette is either to use up this blue shade completely, which I can see happening if I do focus in on this, or to just hit 25 uses in the rest of this palette as a whole, because the packaging of this palette is blue. So either to use this product up or to have 25 uses, basically just whichever one comes first and whichever one I feel like doing. Next palette is this one from Beauty Bay. This is the Metamorphic palette, and I always want to say Metamorphosis, I don't know why, but this is another really nice palette, and I don't really think they had this in for that long before they sort of, either the palette sold out or like they stopped doing this palette. But I feel like a lot of the Beauty Bay formulas are really, really good. Like they've got a really great eyeshadow formula. I'm so sorry, but this is going to reflect at you guys. I'll try to make it as least reflective as possible, but this is what the palette itself looks like. And there's loads of like blue shades in here, but there's purples and like really dark shades and like neutrals like this and white. And basically, because the outside of the palette is blue, I get to just use any shades in here. And the main thing is to just basically hit 5 like uses in this, and I'm genuinely thinking of just doing a 1 week 1 palette. I also had to bring in this palette. It's the Colourpop on a Cloud Blue palette, and I really love this. And I decided to do something really stupid with this palette, and it is to hit 50 uses on here. Now, I genuinely don't know what I was thinking, considering I have so many other palettes that I'm also trying to like indirectly work on, or I want to sort of make progress on, and all that sort of stuff. But I've decided to hit 50 on here, and the reason for that is because you guys will see that in a second. I feel like one, I really do love a good like cool tone palette, but two, I like the Colourpop formula. I think especially with these like £9 palettes, it is a pretty good formula. But three, with a whole bunch of other products that I pulled out, I feel like they would go really well with this palette. And for those, the goal is to hit 50 uses, and I think I could sort of get to that point, just depending on if I remember to use this palette. And one thing that I'm going to just change going forward is to bring in less like monthly palettes to use, because normally what I'll do is I'll use up the palettes that I have pulled out already from my makeup drawer, and then I will kind of try to use those like at least once and then kind of put them away, and then kind of like whenever I remember I'll use my other palettes. But I tend to bring in a lot of those, so going forward what I'm going to do for now is maybe only bring like 3 or 4 per month, and then mainly try and focus in on these palettes here that are currently in my project pan. I'm pulling in two Super Shock shadows from Colourpop. They're both from the same collection. So this is the Creepin one, which is a light blue, and then the darker blue one is the Fretful shade. And I'm thinking of just using this as like a winged liner situation rather than using all over my lid, because I don't really think I'm going to do that. So I think that'd be a nice way to use this up if I just actually show you guys what it looks like. It's a really lovely like deep blue shade, and I think this would be kind of nice to just get you some use out of, because I'm neglecting a lot of my singles, and that's why I pulled in a lot of them into this project pan. The other one is this one, and I feel like this is definitely really easy to use, especially with that cloud on the cloud blue palette. I feel like this would be a nice one to use, and it'll just mean I get some use out of my product, and I could probably end up just using these two together, and that'll just knock like my uses down per like use, if that makes no sense, but you guys know what I'm trying to say. I've also pulled in these two singles. So this is from the Moondust Urban Decay like thing, and this is another really lovely blue shade, and I feel like I would struggle using this otherwise, or like I'll probably forget about it, even though it literally just sits right there in a stack of drawers. But still, I don't really gravitate towards as many singles as I do palettes, because I rotate through palettes a lot more. But I feel like this is a nice sort of product to use, and I want to get some use out of this anyway. Again, I think it'll go really nicely with the On Cloud Blue palette, but also it could work really well with the Anastasia one, and also I do feel like it could work really well with even my Revolution palette that I'm panning, because I feel like I can use some of the shades and do like a mauvey blue look that would kind of work out. The other one is this one from MAC, and this is their multichrome basically shadows. So this has like a blue, green, purple shift to it. I really love this so much, and I got this on a whim, but I'm really glad I did get it because it looks stunning and I really like this. And I think because of that shifty look in here, it's going to be really fun to use. I'll see how this goes. I probably will use this with other palettes and not the Colourpop one, but again, like 5 uses on this, I don't think it's that difficult to do, especially because I really enjoyed it the last time that I used this. I have two potted like creamy eyeshadows, and I'm really nervous to use both of these, but unless I don't bring it into the collection or this project pan, I'm not really going to use them, so it's better that I get some use out of these before they dry out and I have to toss them. So this from Color Cosmetics is the Dreamer Liquid Potion, and it looks stunning. It genuinely looks so stunning, and I'll show you guys what it looks like. And I think I have used this a few times, but I also think this is sort of like drying up as well. Like I was saying, this is a really nice shade, and I really like this, so I'm going to try and get some use out of this when and if I genuinely speaking can. And then the other one is from Glistening Cosmetics. This is the Chroma Flakes one, and this is another like really nice, like lovely blue green shifting sort of product, and I also really like this. And I think this would be kind of fun to use as well, and this could be an easy one to use with quite a few products, so I'm going to try and get some use out of this too as and when I can. I have a loose powder from Carla Cosmetics, which literally just looks like this. It is stunning, and I really want to get some use out of this. This is the shade Sleepyhead, and I think this would be kind of fun to use. I do prefer like a powder over a cream and liquid, but because I have some of these products, I just want to get some use out of them. And then speaking of liquid, I have this one from Glistening Cosmetics, another really lovely shade. This is shade Phantom. I just haven't gotten that much use out of this. I think maybe I've used this once, but it is a beautiful colour, and I really want to get some use out of this, so I'm going to pull this in as well. And again, 5 uses I feel like for all of these products is okay. Like I think that's still like somewhat challenging, but also like achievable if I put my mind to it. And then a last product that I have in terms of like eyeshadows is this wet liner from Glistening Cosmetics. It's a really lovely like baby blue shade, and this is in the shade Antique, and I think this would be another really nice one to use, especially if I just add a bit of like graphic liner to like my eyes. whenever I use one of these products. And again, 5 uses for this. I think that'll be enough for me to challenge myself to use a product without feeling too overwhelmed with this. That's all of the eyeshadows. I'm pulling in a blush, but this is only here for 5 uses. It's another one from Flower Nose, and this is the shade Blue Moonlight. Not only is the outer packaging blue, but the actual blush itself has blue in it, which I have no idea how this is going to work and how that would even work out as a blush. But I think that'd be kind of fun to try and use at least a couple of times. The goal is just hit 5 uses because I have plenty of the blushes I'm currently focusing on and ones I would really like to use up actually this year. So that's why I'm only trying to pull this in for 5 uses. And once that's done, and it's going to get moved out. I'm pulling in this powder from Collab because the packaging is blue, but I have made a lot of progress on my current powder that I have. There's the pressed powder, and I thought this would be a nice one to get some use out of. I got this, I think, I want to say in 2023, because I think that's the last time I did a, well, it was either 23 or 24, but I want to say it was 2023, and that's when I did somewhat of a like an order from Kaleidos, and I haven't really ordered anything else from them, but I do have a lot of really great but running on the older side products, and my right ears are going really funny, so I'm so sorry about the noise, but I really want to get use out of those products. That's why I'm putting this in, but I'm not going to touch this until I use up my other product. I'm pulling in 3 highlighters from Kaleidos. This is the original Mars Melter, which has like a pinky sort of like shift to it, and that's what it looks like. I'll try and swatch this for you. So, excuse my hands because they're like hella dry, but that's, hopefully that picks up, but that's what that looks like. 10 uses on this product. I think I could easily do that. Then I have the Moon Cruiser, and this is like the new packaging that they had a couple of years ago. Again, it looks so stunning. This is what it looks like. And then if I swatch that, again, it's very, very nice. And I think this would just be really fun to use and do some of my blue eyeshadow looks. And the third one is this one, and this is Skywalker. If I didn't mention what the previous one was, that is Moon Cruiser, and this is just what it looks like. These two look very similar to one another. I just feel like this one, the other one is slightly more glittery. And then if I hopefully that swatch without touching the other highlighters, but that's what that looks like. So these two look really similar to each other, but again, 10 uses in that. And I think it would just be nice to sort of use some of these with the other like products that I have. And if I can hit pan within the 10 uses, I think that'll be great. And this might be a mistake, but I'm bringing in a face palette in here, and I've decided to have 50 uses on here. And the reason for that is because this is like the deep palette from 2024, and I feel like in the summer I can end up tanning quite a bit, and I feel like I would be able to get a lot of use out of this palette in that particular season. And I'm slightly nervous about bringing this in because I already have 2 other face palettes that I'm kind of using. I mean, one of them has like a bronzer. I already have another like contour that I'm using as a bronzer. Another, I already have a bronzer that I'm currently using, and then have another face duo that I'm using, and I'm bringing in this palette. So I think that is a lot, and I should not be bringing in any more face palettes into any project pans. But I have decided on 50 uses, and I think within a year I can like hit that target. So this is what the palette looks like. These aren't small, but because they're baked, I feel like the product can last a very long time. And I have, I think now, 3 palettes from Hourglass, which is crazy because these palettes can also last a very long time. And already this is like a deeper shade for me, so I can only use this, or I can get away with it only at certain times in the year, which is usually when I'm tanned, and that's only ever in the summer period. And then my tan isn't that strong because I'm not out all the time. But yeah, it would be really nice to just hit pan. Okay, not hit pan, but it would be really nice to have some progress on this within that 50 uses. I think I could possibly do this. Next, I did decide to roll in 5 eyeliners, and of the 5, I've decided to use up this Kaleidos one completely because it's one of the products that's older, and it's a beautiful, beautiful eye pencil, and I think I'm gonna really like using this. So this is a beautiful shade. Hopefully that swatch kind of picks up the shimmer, and there isn't really that much in here, and I have already marked this. I don't think that's going to take me that long, but also I feel like this would be a really good way to use up considering there's some other blue products in here, and it makes so much sense to do that. So the goal for this one only is to use up completely, and then for these other 4, they're just variations of blue basically. So I've got this one from NYX. This is the NYX and Beetlejuice collab. One side there's a actual like eye pencil, and the other side is an actual like black felted eyeliner. So just 5 uses on this. 5 uses can come from either side of this. As long as I hit the 5 use, I don't really care. I can then roll this out, and at least that way I've made some progress on the eyeliner. And then I have two from Colourpop. One's baby blue, one's like deeper blue, and again, goal is to just hit 5 uses. And then I have this one from Makeup Geek. Again, 5 uses, and this is a slightly more like deeper one, but it's kind of a very deep but kind of like it's a bluey green one. Lastly, I have 4 lip products that I have rolled into this project pan. One of them is this KVD lipstick, and I can never pronounce the name properly. I think it's Scorpirist, and this is a really interesting like blue liquid lipstick, and normally I wouldn't really typically wear it out, but I think this could work in a very interesting way when I do makeup using some of these products, and I think it could be fun to like create a cool look with this. And for that reason, because it's a difficult color to use, and I have to be very careful because I'm not going to wear this out the house. It's also a very similar shade to my t-shirt. It's just a little bit more on the cooler side than my shirt is, I want to say. But 5 uses on this I think would be great, because then I can decide if there's something wrong with this product, I can then obviously roll it out and like toss it. But it would be a nice way to get used out of this product that I wouldn't typically get if I was to just use this as a liquid lipstick. I have two sort of glosses. One is an actual gloss from Flower Nose. I think this is Brulee Latte or something like that, but I don't really remember. The name is written in Chinese, but it just says Geo6, so I'm assuming when I tried to find out, that's what it said it was. And this is a really lovely color, and I do feel like I could get a lot of use out of this, that I'm going to try and use this up. Also, because I have so many glosses, it's nice for me to just pull them into different projects. I can use them up, because the goal is going to be to just use as many as I can this year, and I think this would be quite a nice one. And also the formula for these glosses just feels very nice. It feels very hydrating and it isn't sticky. I have this lip oil from Blend Bunny Cosmetics. This is a sugar high shade. It just says black sugar, and I think this would be kind of nice to use. Only I'd have to be very careful with using this and pulling this out. So this one, it generally is a very sort of grayish looking product, so this would be fun to use. I'll just put some on my lips now as well, because why not? But yeah, I think this would be kind of fun to use. I might even keep this on my like desk just to like top up whenever I want to, but I currently already have something there to use, so we'll see. But I pulled this in because the packaging had a tiny bit of blue, and it got to the point I started to struggle with using or like finding products. I was just like trying to dig deep, and I managed to pull this out from the back. So the goal would just be to use it up, because again, that is what I'm trying to do with as many glossy types of products. So I think I can manage that. And the last product is this Flower Nose lipstick. And you guys might be wondering, if you watch my other project pans, why do you keep pulling in Flower Nose products? Is because I generally have so many products from Flower Nose, because I did like 2 giant hauls or 3 giant hauls from their brand, which is crazy. But because I have so many, I'm just trying to like pull in whatever products I feel like I can easily use, and it kind of helped that the packaging of this was blue. This is an interesting lipstick. I do really like the shade, but it's very pink to what I'm used to. But I've decided to make the goal to use it up. So that's how much product is in here, which I do feel like I can use up, because every now and again I do tend to grab a pink lipstick, and this I think would work nicely, and it could go well with some of my other um like products that I'm using. That is everything I've decided to roll in for now. I will try and do monthly updates for this project, but I don't know how that will be or how this will work out. If any products either don't work for me, they've expired, they've dried out, or anything like that, I will end up tossing them out. But then I will just bring in another makeup product, and if I can't find a makeup replacement, but I've managed to maybe like buy a replacement product for like hair care, skincare, whatever, and if that's blue, I'll then roll that in. But I don't see that happening anytime soon. So most of the products that you see being replaced in here will just be replaced with makeup. So we'll see how that turns out. But these are the 50 that I've decided to pull out for now. I'm going to have so much fun trying to put these away, and maybe at the end of today I can have time to paint my nails blue, because I have plenty of nail polishes to pick from. But that is everything for this intro. I will hopefully be able to give you guys an update for next month, and hopefully we can start to have some rollouts quite quickly.